When I was a very young doctor, they did the first bypass operation in the hospital where I was working. And I suddenly realised that it was a simple operation with high technology, but it relieved the patient's symptoms immediately. They could go back to work within 6 weeks, and it saved lives. And it seemed to me a very sensible career to follow. I think that that's a bigger challenge than heart surgery. Patient safety is something that doctors and nurses talk about. We don't like people who die. We don't like people who have complications. Well, we don't like them having complications. But the quality of care is different. That's what the patients talk about. Yeah. They don't like being in hospital, but they don't like things going wrong within hospital. They don't like getting an infection. They don't like bad food. They don't like not being able to park or not have visitors. They don't like losing their dentures. So there are two different things that come together. They're part of the same spectrum, but they are different. So safety is what we talk about. Quality is what patients talk about. We need to bring them both together. Oh yes, I think the first thing is the busyness of hospitals in particular.
Oh yes.
The word I use is churn. I don't know if you know, if you get some milk and you put it into a churn and you beat it, you can get some cream, and if you keep beating it, it turns sour.
Yes.
And I think sometimes our young doctors and nurses are so busy that things tend to not go as well as they would like because they take shortcuts, or because they are too tired, or because they don't have the resources to get the work done. So I think there are huge challenges to make sure that safety and quality is central to all that we do. And very often managers of hospitals say, but if safety is core business, you should be doing it anyway, and they don't invest in it. We must invest in safety and quality because the return on investment is very, very high. Quality care, safe care, not only saves lives, but it saves money as well.
Yes.
Well, sometimes it's difficult.
Yes.
But I have another duty, and that's a duty to my family. I have 3 children, all of whom are married.
Yes.
And I have 10 grandchildren.
Whoa.
So I have learnt to use my time wisely. I think I should say no more often than I do. But I do have the ability to put things into compartments and concentrate on one thing at a time and use my time wisely. Sometimes I get it wrong. And sometimes I get tired, sometimes the family miss out on activities. And sometimes there is a clash, and I need to talk to the family about those, and sometimes say no to people who want me to do work for them in the hospital setting.
Yes.
I think the first thing is they need to be good at what they do. They need to be a good nurse or a good doctor. That goes without saying. But they also need to be a good listener.
Yes.
So they can actually hear from their team, and they need to recognise that the team is more important than they themselves are, even though they're the leader. I think there are 4 things that they need to have. They need to have profound knowledge.
Yes.
They need to have a profound strategy. They need to have a purposeful direction. They want to know where they're going. And then they need to have purposeful behaviours. They need to behave in the keeping with all of those other 3 things I've just mentioned. And that will actually drive behaviour change in their team for the better. It is dramatically different. I first came to China in 1985. The bypass surgery was very rarely performed in China way back then. Now China is, like many other countries, developing technologies to do amazing things, even with heart surgery, whether it's open surgery whether it's stents or whether it's robotic surgery or minimally invasive surgery. The changes are extraordinary, and this city is a very good demonstration
Yes.
as to how progressive this country is becoming. And it's leading the pace of change more than any other country in the world. And given the size of the country, that's a remarkable achievement.
Yes.